Welcome to Around Town, featuring what's happening here in the greater Concord area. I'm your host, Dick Patten, and welcome back as we say goodbye to the month of April and say hello to the month of May. And, of course, the month of May features a lot of things. That we start off with we end up with a patriotic season, but we also, in between, have Mother's Day, and of course, baseball is full going on, and we have the patriotic season with Armed Forces Day in there, and but the big event that's been a highlight in Concord for many, many, many years is the 61st annual Concord Kiwanis Fair. And today, Chris Pappas, who's been one of the main fixtures, I won't say for 61 years, but it seems like you've been there a good 50 years anyway, Chris.
Seems like it, but about 33, 34 of those.
That's it? My gosh, I thought you'd been there more than that. Seems like between you and Edgar Broda, when he was alive, he'd be down there doing parking or something. And of course, you also had Mason Blake was down there, and then of course you had some of the ladies that were there. Yvonne Wheeler, she was there when she belonged. She was down there.
Yeah, she was. Flo Blake.
Yeah, Flo Blake was another. I remember her, and she used to help out in the food wagon. She'd be cooking or something. I remember her talking about that.
Out in the parking lot. We not only had Edgar out there, but Charlie Sweeney.
Yeah, Charlie Sweeney.
Was out there, and
Tom
Wayne
O'Connor.
French.
Yeah.
Wayne French from French's
Tom
music.
O'Connor. All passed away now. All heroes, those three.
And we're carrying on the tradition.
Yeah, you are. Every year you wonder if you're going to be able to continue it, but you're back again.
Like I've told you before, I also attended the very first, well, back then it was the trade fair deck.
Oh, yes.
At the old armory, which is now the recreation center.
Yeah.
And 61 years ago.
Yeah, so I didn't go
Hard
there.
to believe that this is our 61st fair.
I know. Well, the first one I remember as a kid was over at the airport. That's when my folks went over there, because you had the tents on the runways. But the rides, I remember the rides being on the grass out there in front of the terminal and everything else.
Yep, between Airport Road and the runways. That's where the carnival rides were. Because
I remember the big Ferris wheel was out there, and then the little train ride that I was on. I remember that being out front.
But we also had a parade down Main Street,
up
Bridge Street, Loudon Road to the airport.
Yeah, they came up that far?
It went all the way to the airport.
My goodness, that's a distance.
Past Lang's Field.
Yeah.
Lang's gas station on Bridge Street.
Yes, I know. Yeah, and Bond's Shell station there, a city service there was down there.
Because you remember that road used to go behind the gas station.
Yep,
it was a very sharp turn and a very steep incline.
It's still there, but it's blocked off now, so you can't obviously come up there. And there were a couple of houses down in there. Those have been torn down, I guess. There was nothing there now, but yeah, you're right.
Must be state property or city property.
Or something, I'm sure. But yeah, that was over the airport, and then you went down to the Highway Hotel, and of course then it was in June. And I remember how hot it was, boys. Sometimes it was really hot down there. And it was a little dusty because the hotel out there was not paved. It was on dirt at that time. But I can remember the state ballroom was loaded with all kinds of exhibitors and...
the big ballroom and also the small ballroom.
Oh, Franklin Pierce room too.
Yes. Both of those were full.
It was just a grand time for Concord. It was the event. I mean, sure, we weren't like the Hopkins or Deerfield fairs with animals and stuff, but we had the rides and
those are true agricultural fairs.
And you had the food fair food there from, well, at that time it was basically hamburgers or hot dogs and popcorn and candy apples and cotton candy. That was a big deal. Now you get almost a full menu of everything, from bloomin' onion to the sausage bombs there, and ice cream, and you can make a meal out down there, that's for sure.
The Kiwanis, when we had our food trailer back then, I know I told you we had the old Army tent
Yeah,
from the National Guard.
sure.
And that was a huge tent, and cooking all the hamburgers.
Sure.
There was no ventilation under the tent,
Oh, I bet.
and the smoke would go up at the peak,
Yeah.
and we were virtually in smoke. By the time we left, our glasses were full of grease,
Oh, I bet they
just
were.
from all the hamburgers.
Yeah,
And,
I bet they were.
but we used to pack in the crowds. The East Concord Lamplighters
Yes, yeah.
used to have their booths down there at the
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So it was a good community effort.
It was, and again, people looked. It was like an old home day in a way, because you'd see people you hadn't seen all year, and and the kids, of course, they would sit in and figure out. For me, anyway, I can remember was when I was younger was riding down by the arena when it moved over to the arena from the Highway Hotel. But even when I was on the Highway Hotel, to ride by and see which rides were being put up, because it was always Mother's Day night when the rides would start to arrive from somewhere they'd been.
It was always thrilling to see, you're right, ride after ride after ride.
Yeah, being
And
put
they
up.
would show up piecemeal.
Yeah, because the merry-go-round would be one of the first ones up, and then the Ferris wheel and the little boats on the thing there, and then all of a sudden the swings at that time came up, and then you had the first, I won't say daredevil ride, but the more outside of the traditional Ferris wheel, merry-go-round, that was the Scrambler. I remember getting on that. That was quite a ride. And then they came in with the Zipper and the Himalaya or the Flying Bobs, and added a few fun houses.
All of the above.
Yeah. Of course, it was local, as we've said before, with the Granite State shows, doing them for years.
ل Muldoon,
Yeah.
one of our good heights person,
Yeah.
just up the road from here.
And then Mark Gagne, Mark Amusements. After that, he renamed it, and they had the rides. But
Mark used to work with Bill Muldoon,
Yeah.
bought most of his rides.
yeah, I can still see Mark's mother. She'd be working in one of the cotton candy booths or whatever
Right.
down there. But
From there, we went to, we had Fiesta
yeah,
for a while, and we also had the Finelli Boys. That was the father that had a traveling show,
yep, Finelli.
and Jack Finelli.
Yep, I remember them.
They
And
all
you had Burgett, didn't you, too, one time? Burgett from Massachusetts, wasn't he up here? Or some of his rides
some
came
of
up
his
here,
rides, I think.
or up here.
And Smokies from Maine,
Yeah, that was the one.
Would,
yeah, that
come
was the
down.
one.
and they would borrow rides if
Yeah,
they weren't busy that weekend. These guys would help each other out, which is good for us.
Yep.
Because we are slated to have again 22, 23 rides, a lot of kiddie rides.
yeah, and a lot of games.
Yes.
Do they
Yes.
count the games as a ride, or is that separate?
Separate games are games. We count games, we count food and rides.
Yeah.
So there are three different distinct ways that we get proceeds from the carnival operator. So we get a certain percentage, so obviously we want people to go down. Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday is wristband day, which is what everybody waits for. Friday is a very busy day. There is no wristbands on Friday. But $25 for a wristband at the fair.
Yeah.
But they're only $20.
Yeah,
If they-
we bring in that little slip of paper.
Yep. Those are distributed throughout the city.
Yeah.
There are
Yeah.
a lot of businesses that have these. If not, we even have some of those down at the arena.
Remind me again, Chris, why did the Kiwanis move the fair from June to May?
We were getting into graduation
Oh, okay.
between Merrimack Valley, Hopkinton, Pittsfield, Concord, Pembroke,
Yeah.
and one of those weekends, whenever we tried to move it, there was always a conflict So we always had it in May. We thought
Yeah.
because of the year that we had the
Yeah.
snow flurries and the cold.
2001 was the year that happened, that I remember it happening, because I was working over at Pittsfield, PD at my old job part-time on Saturday morning, and I was snowing like crazy, and I thought, oh, brother. I mean, the road, it hadn't collected on the road, but the grass was getting it. They collected on the grass. And then I went down and sold tickets in the afternoon for you, and it was it cold. And it had cleared off, but the fireworks got canceled.
Very cold.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And with the cold, you don't get the crowds.
No.
So we decided to move it into the middle of June.
Yeah.
So there wouldn't be any conflicts. Well, unfortunately, there were a lot of conflicts.
Yeah.
And there's no guarantee that the weather's going to be
No.
any better.
No.
After 2 years in June, back to May we went.
Yeah.
And it's always after Mother's Day.
Yes.
Heaven forbid we'd have it on Mother's Day. That's
I know it. Yeah.
not what we want to do.
Hmm.
But the dates of the fair are May 12th through the
Yes.
15th.
That's May 12th, Thursday, May 12th, and at 5 o'clock at night going to 10, and then Friday's 5 to 11, Saturday noon to 11, and Sunday noon to 6. So,
We expect a good crowd.
Yeah, usually,
we
I mean,
always do.
oh yeah, you always do have a good crowd. I mean, it's like I said, it's been the event. I mean, Concord has lost so many different events over the years, but the Kiwanis Fair and the Christmas Parade, and we're still around. And you figure this is the 65th year for the parade, and with yours 61, there aren't many other events in Concord that's still going, basically.
We were very sorry to see the parade.
I know,
go by.
I missed that, but it was because the expenses of the police department,
That was one of the main
reasons for it.
Main reasons, the expense that year, and the cost of the bands. The
Oh yeah,
$300-400 bands were now
Yeah.
$1,000.
Oh yeah,
When you get a variety, and even though you get the high school bands,
yeah.
we still contribute
Oh yeah,
something
we do too.
because they've got uniforms to clean and
Yeah.
transportation.
Yeah, we do too. That's why
So-
people are really surprised when we talk about the parades. They can't get over how come we're paying bands and all that stuff. They said, not in my time. We always marched and that was it. Well, not nowadays.
No,
And especially if you come in from out of town, like there's a few bands that have come up here, not for me, but some of them like Londonderry or Salem or Alvern, I mean Pinkerton. Yeah, Londonderry, they're all up in the $3,000 to $4,000 range. Who can afford
Londonderry
that?
has a huge
They do.
band with 5 buses to bring everybody
Yeah.
and a truck to bring all the instruments.
But I was talking with Ben Green recently. I was up to Beaver Meadow School, the Grange with their dictionaries, and I forgot that he's acting principal up there. And I asked him about how the band was doing, and he said the band is bigger than ever. And I said, "You mean it's back to when Bill Matevio was there?" And he said, "Well," he said, "actually, it's bigger than he had it." So
And he had a big band.
He did. He had a very big band, and I said, "Well, that's good to hear." So the band's back, and it's really moved up there. Of course, Jim Foley puts a lot of time and effort into it, I'm sure. And of
Yes.
course, then you think about Runlet with their band, and that was one thing that you did, because with your parade, we got to see the Runlet Junior High School band. Well, now middle school, but Runlet Junior High more
School
than.
was still in session.
Yeah,
It
but
was
you got
easy to
them.
get. Yes,
But
we
you
did.
got them. See, in the fall, I can't get them because they haven't marched yet. And of course, they basically got, when I was down there at Runlet, you had the blue band and the white band. The white band was more the advanced players, while the blue one was more like the 7th graders or whatever. And once a year, they'd come together for your parade and then the Memorial Day parade, and that was it. But
They had no cost for uniforms because they all wore black pants
Yes.
and a white
Yeah.
shirt.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was very easy. Where as opposed to Concord High,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
they look pretty sharp in their
I remember-
uniforms.
I remember the year they went with not polka dots, plaid, blue and white plaid shirts or something they wore. And then one year they wore T-shirts. And I thought that was kind of. But anyway, Rutland has a big band, but I do miss the parade. You're right, Chris. It doesn't, because we always knew that it was the opening of the fair, because some of it would go across the river to the arena to start it. And of course, you had the Miss Kiwanis Fair pageant back those days.
The parade for years and years was on Thursday. That was the
Yep.
kickoff.
Oh, yeah.
And because there were so many baseball games, softball games, and everything with Little League,
Oh, yes.
there was a lot of that element that just wasn't attending the fair.
Yeah.
We used to get a lot of Cub Scouts, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts to march in the parade.
But they don't march even in Memorial Day now. You don't see many of them at all.
They should.
Of course, they should. And what was discouraging this year, I couldn't get any nominees for the Grange Youth Awards from Troop 88 from St. Paul's Church. We've been working with them for the last several years, and they've always given me names. This year, I couldn't get a name. Couldn't get nothing.
So you had a good, successful Grange Award night.
It was. We had about 60 to 70, 65 to 70 people there, but there's a lot of those who didn't come. So I got to deliver plaques now, which is sad because I guess they feel it's not like the Academy Awards, but that's all right. But it just makes me realize that maybe next year I'm going to have to cut out a lot of them. Say the heck with it. But anyway, back to your fair. But so on Saturday is the only afternoon that there's actually anything inside the arena, because you got the roller derby and that's it. Nothing on Thursday, nothing on Friday.
Correct.
And it's oh boy.
When we had the
Miller.
trade fair, we had 103 booths inside.
Oh, I know. Wasn't that something?
It was crammed in there.
Oh.
It was always good to have the 4-H,
Yeah.
because they would
always at
bring
the door.
the sheep and the
Little
calves
Yep.
that were there.
Yep.
And we used to have to stay overnight.
Yeah.
Dave Bailey and myself would stay on one shift. Somebody else would come in for another shift.
Yeah.
But we had 24 hours
Yeah.
protection.
Oh yeah.
That was the last thing you needed was anybody to break in, because there was a lot of. But
I can remember so well, even as a kid, people would they'd get bags somewhere, and they would fill them up with yardsticks, pencils, pens, you name it, and it was just like, my goodness, like Halloween. But
Concord Clean is one year, they had neckties. They had cleaned so many neckties during the year, and they were unclaimed,
Yep.
and they must have had 300 or 400 neckties. They
Really?
brought them all down to the fair.
Oh,
Every
my
man
gosh.
that walked by got a
There you
got
go.
a
Yeah.
necktie. Whoever they belonged to, who
And,
knows?
and neckties are back in style again. That's what makes you laugh. Neckties are back in again.
Yes.
All these years they were out, now they're back in. But I haven't gone back wearing one yet. But
And you're not a bow tie man.
no. I mean, bow tie. That's what I was thinking of, bow tie, not
bow
the necktie.
ties.
Bow tie. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Bow ties are back in. Back in again. I wasn't thinking of the neckties. I can remember so well, Marky Limited was down there with his clothing. He'd have a booth. Steenbeck's would be down there. BD Electric was there for a few years, or Sprague Electric with some people demonstrating there what they were doing.
Brochu had a great landscaping.
Yeah, they were
thing with
down
running
there.
water, and
Yeah,
there was a lot of time and effort. that a lot
Casano
of
was
those
there with the
people-
stove band. Oh boy, there was another one that was down. There was another one down. I can see. 'em.
Concord Electric used
Yes, I
to
remember them.
come down, and the gas company, because
That's right. Yeah,
Cedric
Concord Gas,
Dustin
yeah.
was there.
Mm.
But we would have shade people, Venetian blinds,
Yeah.
the carpeting people,
Yeah,
vacuum cleaner people,
yeah. Fresh water.
yeah,
All that. Those
salt water taffy.
Yeah, yeah.
The
Yeah.
fudge man from up north would come down.
And I can remember JYY would be down there with a radio booth in there, broadcasting once in a while or something, and it was.
Yeah, when they stopped, Oldies 99
That's right. They
down.
came in. That's right. They were there. Because Pat Sweeney was down when they had the Miss Kiwanis Fair pageant, and it was so many memories, and so much that people just look forward to. They just couldn't get over it, and the kids would stand in trying to figure out which ride am I going on next,
Dick, we had a Battle of the Bands one year.
That's right. Yeah, I remember
and that was pretty well publicized throughout all the high schools.
Yeah.
Well, all the different bands that came at that particular section of time when Concord High played, then all the Concord High kids would be there.
Mm.
And when other schools came, we didn't get the crowds that we thought we were going to get for Battle of the Bands. The city had brought down their
bandwagon, yeah.
And it should have worked, but it didn't.
Yeah.
And we didn't go the second year.
Hmm.
But we need to think about again what we were talking about earlier. Something new and innovative for the inside of the arena.
Mm.
We've had car shows, we've had truck shows, we've had motorcycle.
Yes, I remember.
We've had Red Cross rummage sales. We've had a little bit of everything ever since the trade fair went.
No, because of that home show that comes in a month before you. Have they had that show yet?
It's gone by. It was in April. 1st of April.
I guess I missed it. 'Cause I wondered if they had that because I didn't hear nothing much about it this year.
It was there.
Yeah.
And virtually, still to this day, I think half or 2/3 of those people would have been in.
Of course they would. They'd have been
our
at your
show.
fair. Yeah, that's right. They always went to the fair, and that's what bothered me. They don't patronize the local organizations like that. But see, this guy comes in, makes his money, and out he goes. Doesn't give a hoot to anything.
Pays his fee to the arena, and he's got a traveling home show.
Yep, that's what it is.
Go to the next town.
Yeah, because he's in Manchester or Laconia or any of those places, and off he goes. And to heck with like your event that used to have all these people there.
It was local.
That's right. It was local, and that's what I say. You need to patronize your local people. That's what I've always stood by that. But that's the way it goes nowadays, Chris. But no, the Kiwanis continues to be a very active group. I mean, you take a couple of months, actually not really a couple months, but sometimes a couple months off. But in that time period, when the fair ends, you're getting ready to getting ready for the car show.
The wheels are already in motion for the car show.
Yeah.
So we have two very distinct affairs going on at the same time.
Now you have
behind the scenes.
You have scholarships that you present to the high school seniors too, right?
We have 12 $500 scholarships.
Wow.
That we will be giving out.
Now
Most of the schools have already all the forms, and I'm pretty sure, even though we're taping early, all the applications are in, and we have a separate scholarship committee. So those names will be announced very soon.
And that still is Concord, Bishop Brady, Pembroke, Hopkinton,
and Merrimack Valley.
Merrimack Valley. You don't do Pittsfield no more, huh?
Yes, Pittsfield. If they get their application in, we will look at it.
Concord
Absolutely.
Christian.
Concord Christian, I believe, had 2 applications
That's good.
last year. But we don't shut any of the schools out,
No,
even
that's
if
good.
somebody at the university or a first-year student,
Yeah.
they can also apply.
Good. Oh, good.
So,
Gee, you mean that people have to pay tuition? I thought that we had a candidate blowing up about no tuition for kids.
that'll never happen.
And,
Who would pay for it, Dick?
Yeah, that's the problem.
Who
But
would
these
pay
kids
for it?
don't. They don't understand that. All they hear is one person saying free tuition, free tuition. Yeah, okay.
Somebody pays.
Yeah, that's right. But no, it's been a tremendous. Also, too, I haven't seen the trailer down there yet at the arena. Is that coming down soon?
It is there now.
Oh, it is there today. Okay.
Yes,
I
as
went
of
by
today.
it and it wasn't there, so I was
If you went by in the morning, it wasn't there.
okay, so it's there now.
By noontime,
it
was there.
Yeah,
That seems to be the kickoff. That
it's
we
coming.
always park the trailer a couple weeks ahead of time,
That it's
so
coming. Yeah,
people know that it's coming.
yep.
And the arena people have been very good to us in the past, so
Well, it should.
we got a good relationship.
Well, it should be. You've done. I don't. The Kiwanis, and this is nothing against the Rotary, Lions, or the Grange, or Elf, or whatever, but the Kiwanis has done a lot for the city. That Riverside Park behind the arena, to me, is one of the best gifts that any club could give the city, because, I mean, look how many people use it. Whether you have a picnic down there, or you go walking along the river there, or you put a boat in or whatever, but, you know, you guys have really done a lot. I should say ladies, too. You folks have really done a lot, and that Riverside Park is one of the nicest things that anybody could ever do.
It's great to see the Concord High School crew team
Yeah.
out there.
Oh,
There
yes.
are many kids,
Yeah.
and when they launch all their boats in the Merrimack, it's you're right. It's a great place to be for a picnic, for whatever.
How did you folks ever come across? I know we're getting low, but how did that project ever start?
Tom Rutherford,
Yeah.
who was Lockwood Young Cement, he had a backhoe in that particular area along with Dusty and Charlie Averill. All the underbrush, he's the one that basically started cutting down the trees and grinding all the stumps and backload, because that was the big project for the Kiwanis Club,
Wow,
to
yeah.
clear that area out
Sure.
and make it a picnic area.
Yeah. Wow.
And a lot of people do use it in the summertime.
Oh, they do. They do.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
we've had the
saying.
jazz festival. We've had a lot of
Yeah, that was down there.
activities.
Never's Band usually has a concert down there too in the summertime, if I remember right. And of course, nobody knows what's going to happen with the 4th of July fireworks this year. But when it's going to be over there or what they're going to do. But no, it's been a popular area for people to go and enjoy it. So, but
Well, the Kiwanis members definitely put in a lot of time and effort down there.
They do. Well, we're coming to a close of our show today with Chris Pappas and talking about the 61st annual Concord Kiwanis Fair at the Everett Arena, starting on Thursday, May 12th, ending on Sunday, May 15th. If you see these little papers in the stores, grab them, because that'll save you $5 off on a band that you can get for the rides. Otherwise, it's $25 for those wristbands. But this little paper is $5 good off on that, so maybe only $20 then. So if you've got a lot of kids that want to go down, and kids love the rides, even though some of the older ones
Yes, they do.
But they love the rides.
Not
And,
everybody can go to Disneyland.
no, that's for sure. That's for sure. And it's, of course, again, rides, food, games, you name it. Go down and see your friends down there walking around. But so with that in mind, we wish you much success this year and perfect weather for the fair, Chris. And
Thank you. We need 4 good days.
yes, and also too I shouldn't say belated, but Happy Easter to you as well.
Thank you.
Because the Orthodox religion is having their Easter coming up in another week, and so happy Easter to you, and to those who are still doing Passover. That started this week. So, and finally the season will be over with, and you can get ready for the car
For
show.
the car show.
And we'll see you in August. So with that in mind, thank you to my director Ian Marks, and watch Around Town on YouTube, as well as Channel 22 on CCTV. Thank you for joining us. Have a great day, great week, and I'm your host, Dick Patten.